All right, I have Andre Petroski on the show now, who fights next on May the 14th against Nick Maximov. Andre, how are you?
Doing well.
Happy to have you on the show, man. And I see you're at the gym right now, so let's just talk about how this camp's been thus far.
It's good. It's been good, honestly. I'm at Jonathan Webb's right now, and part of Daniel Gracie's team. We have Pat Sabatini fighting this weekend on a UFC card. Team's been doing really good. Camp's been going well.
All right, how's Sabatini looking? I imagine pretty darn good.
He looks good, yeah, for sure. 3-0 in the UFC. So he's got his fourth fight this weekend. He fights who's Sabatini fighting?
TJ Laramie.
Laramie. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, man. Now, you're a Philly guy. I want to ask, I've been there once or twice. What's the best cheesesteak that you can get? Where should I go?
So, I don't like Pat's or Geno's. I think they're, just the spectacle. People, they're popular for the spectacle. Their cheesesteaks aren't actually good. I like Jim Steaks.
Okay.
There's a couple around. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I love me a cheesesteak every now and then. So I just figured
sometimes the best cheesesteaks are at a little corner poppy shop, and they got just a kitchen in the back selling $5 cheesesteaks.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, those hole in the wall places.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, are you a big sports fan? Do you get into the 76ers, the Eagles, Phillies?
Man, it's tough for me to watch sports. I just watch fighting a lot, to be honest. I'll watch some boxing and wrestling, but yeah, it's rare. Unless I'm going to the game, I'm probably not gonna watch sports, honestly.
Okay, fair enough, man. Hey, you're in the UFC now. That's your focus. I had to imagine that was your goal right from the beginning. And you really came on the scene. Obviously, the Ultimate Fighter, Team Ortega. What was that whole experience like, being in the tough house for as long as you guys were? I got to imagine it was pretty difficult.
Honestly, I loved it. I do really well in that type of setting where there's a lot of structure. So I did really well, and I enjoyed it. I really liked my teammates. I became really good friends with a lot of those guys, and I thought I learned a lot. Great coaches that had a wealth of knowledge to share. I thought overall it was a great experience.
When you watched that Bryan Ortega Volkanovski fight, I mean, wow, I couldn't believe Volkanovski got out of that submission and he ended up getting the win. What was your takeaway from that one? If they fought again, do you think it would be any different?
It's crazy because the submissions that he went for, he had the obviously he had the mounted guillotine, and obviously he had the triangle too, right?
Yeah.
And then at one point he went for a Darce from the front headlock, but all the stuff we were working all the weeks leading up. So it was cool to see him go for the stuff that he's teaching us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
he's not just teaching random bullshit. He's nah, this is what I use, and this is this shit that I'm going to use at the highest level against the world champion at 145 pounds.
What did you learn from that loss to Bryan battle? Is there anything that you took from that and made yourself a better fighter?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think I look back at my first loss against Aaron Jeffrey, and I was just running through everyone. I had all 5 fights. I was 5-0, all 5 fights with finishes inside 7 minutes. So I didn't really ever think with the mindset of going past or lasting 15 minutes, and I just had to make adjustments along the way, especially after the Bryan battle fight. Changes with my training, not only my training and my preparation as far as cardio wise goes, but strategy in the fight, so I'm not wasting energy and being inefficient.
That makes sense.
And I think you could see it in my last 2 fights. Obviously, I got finishes late in the fight around the 13, 14, 15 minute mark. which to me, like, that shows that, like, I've made the proper adjustments, especially in the last fight. I had the arm triangle. I had a mounted guillotine really early in the first minute. And, you know, rather than in the past, I would have just went for broke to try to get that finish. And I probably would have gotten the finish. But knowing that, I was like, nah, you know, like, more opportunities are going to come. And I kind of let it go. To me, that shows, like, maturity as far as, like, growing as a martial artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very well said. And I wanted to get your take too on the outcome of that Tresean Gore-Bryan battle fight. Did that go the way you expected it would?
Yeah, it did. I mean, obviously everyone asks me, who do I bet? Who's going to win? Blah, blah, blah. And my response was, number one option is Bryan Battle wins by decision, kind of like wears on him. The Bryan Battle recipe, like, obviously it works. Like, I have mad respect for the dude. But he does the same thing and it works. Like, he does the same thing. He beats guys the same way every time he fights. He's a volume fighter and he just wears guys down, like wears them down, picks away at them. So I thought that was a very likely outcome. Or Tresean catches him with a big shot in the first round and finishes him.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to look at it. I think most people felt the exact same way as what you just said.
But to just to give Bryan Battle more credit, the dude is durable, man. Like, he took obviously some big shots from Tresean and bounced back and continued to fight. And dude, I hit him with a lot of really hard shots. And he's definitely like a dude that you're going to have to take out to get him out of there.
Is that battle rematch one that you're really hoping happens in the near future?
It will happen.
When? Do you think if you beat Maximoff, that will be next for you?
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. There's a couple guys have called me out recently, but it's definitely a fight that I want, for sure. We'll see what other opportunities come about though. My thing is, I don't want to wait around. I don't like that they had me sit on the bench for 6 months. Nothing against them, but you know, I fought 4 times in 6 months and then I sat for 6 months, and I don't do well with that. Like, I want to stay as active as possible. So whenever the next, like, soonest opportunity is, that like, time is definitely a factor.
How will a rematch with Bryan Battle turn out? What's your, I guess, way too early prediction as to how that rematch plays out?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I imagine it'll be different in your mind.
I guess you would have to tune in to find out.
Okay. Well, maybe we can do another interview before that happens. I'd love to talk to both of you before that.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about Nick Maximov, not Bryan Battle.
Okay. Good enough, man. Well, I did want to ask you too, one more thing about the Tough House. The snake prank tripped me out, man. I know those weren't like dangerous snakes that are gonna like kill you or anything like that, but they sure looked it. What was the craziest prank in the house that you were just like, whoa, these guys are taking it to another level?
I actually wasn't there for that, and they made like a big deal out of it. I was like, obviously they wanted everyone there to like film the reactions and whatnot, but I was at the PI at the time. And they like were like, no, you got to get him back here. I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm in the middle of an appointment, you know? So I missed the whole snake fiasco. But the most dangerous, what was the question again?
Just what was the craziest prank? I mean, because those guys were going back and forth. I know Brian Ortega had a lot of fun pranking Volkanovski. Was there one that just stood out to you that you were like, wow, these guys are really getting after it?
I don't know. I feel like I could have thought of some better pranks, to be honest. The one with where they took the wheels off was kind of funny, and the snakes was funny too. I think I could have thought of some better shit, honestly.
Okay. Oh, I want to stay on your good side if that's the case, because I thought the pranks were pretty good, my man. Let's recap your win at UFC 267. Impressive win. How happy are you and your team with that performance?
Good, man. Especially like the situation was that they called me about like, I want to say 4 days before we had to leave. So maybe like 10 days before the fight, they called me and they were like, my manager was like, can you be ready May 10th or whatever it was? And like, it's a favorable matchup. We like the matchup. And I was like, all right, perfect. Let's do it. So I called my coach. I'm like, yo, they offered me this guy, this date. And he's like, all right, yeah, definitely. That's a good matchup. He's like, wait, that's in Abu Dhabi. And I was like, nah, he didn't say that. Like, and I call him back. I'm like, yo, is this in Abu Dhabi? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. So the situation was, I had a wedding that weekend and I was the best man in it. It was my best friend's wedding. So I was like, look, as long as I can leave on Sunday instead of Saturday, like I'm in 100%. So they were like, yeah, they got me a flight out of JFK on Sunday instead of Saturday. So like the preparation for it was not like, I definitely didn't have like a full camp or nothing. I was at a wedding. It was not ideal at all. But I was like, I had fought 4 times in 6 months. That was my 4th fight in 6 months. So I was extremely active. Like I was in a good rhythm. Like everything was good.
Well, it sure looked good from my point of view, man. I thought it was an impressive win, especially on short notice there. What is that cut for you to get to 185? Is it hard or do you have it pretty dialed in?
Nah, I'm pretty good. I only do like, I don't cut that much, honestly. The heaviest I'll get is 210.
210. Okay, so that's pretty good. When you look at the top of this division, man, obviously right now you're focused on getting a win over Nick Maximov, but I have to imagine climbing into that top 15 and so on. When you look at Israel Adesanya, do you feel like there's anyone in the next year or so that's going to be able to beat him? Or do you feel like he's going to reign until he decides to maybe go up to 205?
Yeah, I'll beat him. He can't wrestle. There's no one at the top that can wrestle. I'm the best wrestler in the division by far. I showed that against Phil Halls in the grappling match. Like, what? Derek Brunson? All right. We'll see.
I love that answer. So let's dive right into Nick Maximov. He's 8-0. He's undefeated. He's got a win over Cody Brundage most recently, Puna Soriano. Tell me about this matchup. How do you like it for yourself?
So the reason we're fighting is because I asked for it. I requested this matchup and they accepted. I mean, it's a good matchup for me. He wrestles, obviously, but I see like significant holes in his game.
Okay. Do you feel like if this ends up on the mat, if you're in a compromised position, like your jiu-jitsu is going to be able to get out of that and get the better of him? Because I know he's got a pretty good ground game as well with his BJJ skills.
Yeah, I'm confident that no matter where the fight goes, I'm going to have a significant advantage. Everything that he's good at, like I'm better at, to be honest.
Do you think you finish him? What's your official prediction here?
Yeah, early.
Okay, man. I can't wait for this one. I'm really excited. I've interviewed Nick a couple of times. I know he's comes out of the Diaz brothers crew there. So it'll be a fun fight for sure. Again, May the 14th, Andre Petroski, Nick Maximov.
Yeah, what's their team's record in the UFC?
I'm not sure.
You should look into that.
Hey, again, man, I'm excited to see you fight.
Do you know what my team's record in the UFC is?
I imagine it's pretty good.
13-0.
All right,
but
man.
Hey, I won't do your homework for you.
Well, you're going to be looking to go 14-0 on May the 14th.
You like UNC? I see the jersey.
I'm a big Tar Heels fan. Yeah.
You were asking me about the sports. That's one thing I regret not going to. So I went to UNC for 2 years, and I wish I would have went to the Duke game.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother's a Duke fan, and I'm obviously a Tar Heels fan. I didn't even send him anything bad after we beat Duke. And Monday night, I just texted him like, hey, are you wearing Carolina blue? You would have thought I went after his girlfriend or something. It was unbelievable. He got all upset about it. The rivalry between Carolina and Duke is unbelievable. Did you ever go to a game when you were there as a student?
So that's what I was saying. I wish I would have went, and no. So they had the way they did it was there was a raffle for the students. So if you're a student at UNC, you would enter in a raffle, but if you're like a student athlete at UNC, You would get like a couple. You would have more likelihood to get a ticket.
Okay, that's cool. I've never been to a Tar Heels game, so that's something I gotta check off at some point here down the line. Maybe next year if they bring the whole team back, that would be a lot of fun because they look good. Awesome. Hey, Andre, I appreciate you joining me for the first time, man. Again, I just want to say Andre Petroski meets Nick Maximov May the 14th. Before I do let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to shout out to my team and good luck to Pat this weekend. Daniel Gracie. You can follow me on Andre Petroski on Instagram. And I think it's Petroski Andre on Twitter. Thanks for having me, brother.